Hello everyone. Thanks for joining this session, Salesforce Developer Group Vijayawada, India. So as you know, this is our fifth installment of Demystify Asset product, hashtag Demystify Asset product. So in this session, we are having Prashant as our guest speaker, who is going to enlighten us and demystify the rarest sessions. I can say Padot is one of the rarest sessions that should happen because of its license and all this stuff. Welcome to the session, guys. So this is the agenda, guys. Simple and perfect one. So at 11 a.m. we are having this welcome keynote, and by 11:10, our speaker Prashant will demonstrate the product, and by 12:10 we'll be having a good Q&A session with him, and by 12:30 we'll close this session with a closing keynote. So here we go, guys. We are having Prashant Gandhi. He is a Padot consultant, and he is a Delhi Padot user group leader, and he is a Forex Salesforce certified. He is also active in Twitter, and you can follow him at the rate of _Prashant Gandhi. If you want to contact him or if you want to talk with him related to Padot, he is more than happy to share his knowledge, not only in this session, but even out of this session via his Twitter handle. And he is also very much active in LinkedIn as well, so you can have a conversation with him in LinkedIn. Welcome to Vijayawada Developer Group, Prashant. We are overwhelmed to have you in our session.
Thank you, Sesha, for the brief introduction, and thank you for inviting me for this session. I'm quite happy to be included into this particular series of demystifying the Salesforce products.
Yes. So the session is yours, Prashant. Please go ahead and start your session.
Yeah, sure.
Yeah. Thank you. Thank you.
All right.
Yes, Prashant, we can see.
Yeah. Great. Okay. So I'm Prashant Gandhi. I lead the Delhi Padot user group, and I'm also the Salesforce marketing champion for this particular year, and I'm a Padot consultant. This is a very brief introduction about me, and moving on, you can always connect with me on Twitter and also on LinkedIn. So I'm active on both these channels. So if anyone has got any queries regarding Pardot or want to know anything related to Pardot, you can reach out to me. I'm more active on the LinkedIn path, so that would be much preferred path for me. All right. So I would like to ask if anyone in the chat could say, if they are aware of Pardot or if they have done any implementations or anything, so I can get a brief on, how much audience is already aware of Pardot. Then we can move ahead. I think if in the chat, if anyone could. Okay, I just want a number, like how many people know about Pardot, because I know a lot of people I've seen who already know. So yeah. Okay, great. So I'll just move. So this is going to be the agenda for us today, where we'll be covering what is Pardot, what is marketing automation. Then we'll be doing the differences between Pardot and Marketing Cloud. So this is the difference part is going to be very smaller part. I'm not going to include a lot of differences. And then we will talk about the Pardot features, and then there are a couple of customer success stories. These are already available on the Salesforce blogs. So I'll just walk you through those couple of success stories because those are kind of big brands which are already using Pardot. And then we have got the Pardot edition and pricing. So this is just to give you an overview about the Pardot editions. And then I have a few study resources since I see a lot of people would be interested in getting certified, whether it's this, since Pardot has got a couple of certifications, one being the Pardot specialist and the other being the Pardot consultant. So I have got a couple of, a few pointers for, the best way of getting yourself certified in Pardot. So let's start with Pardot. Okay. Okay, so Pardot is basically a B2B marketing automation tool, which is, now it's a native for Salesforce right now. Earlier it was with the ExactTarget part. So now it's completely native to Salesforce. And also it is now available in your Lightning app as well. So it's completely hosted on your the #1 CRM. And I'll show you that part as well, how the, it looks like the Pardot UI and everything. So get ready for that as well. That is going to be at the very end once I complete these slides. Okay, So when we talk about any marketing automation tool or even Pardot or whether it's Marketing Cloud, and we have got multiple competitors as well. If I talk about HubSpot, Marketer, we have got a number of marketing automations tool. So what exactly marketing automation tool does for us? It basically makes it helps you align your sales team with the marketing team, because there are sometimes there are some gaps. So that is where we put in the marketing automation, and we also try to ease the flow of our sending out our emails when we are doing marketing through where we have to do branding and everything. So that is where we pitch in those marketing automation tools. And Pardot being only the B2B part, whereas Marketing Cloud is a B2C. So there are a couple of differences. So since B2B is where you are directly reaching out to your business partners, and when you talk about B2C, that is going to be your consumers or the customers which are there. So that could be one-to-one, whereas this is you are actually working with a particular account. If I have to say in the terms of Salesforce, you actually work with a particular account. Let's say I have an account in Salesforce which is ABCD, and they have got multiple contacts related to it. So you're actually working with that particular account and not with a particular individual over there. Okay. But yes, there are no limitations, I would say, because you can always work with account as well as the person account thing. So it works in both the ways. So this is just a very brief intro of what Pardot is and how I can see somebody has raised a hand. There was a notification. I think, can we take all the questions at the very end, because I'll just quickly run through these PPTs. I'll move on to a demo, a very small demo. I'll show you the UI and everything, and then we can take the questions. Okay, so this is what marketing automation and Pardot is. Moving on to the next one. Okay, so now comes the Pardot versus the Marketing Cloud slide. So these are quite technical parts, I would say, where we are checking what are the differences and everything. Whether it's a the very basic difference, if anyone says, is that Pardot is a B2B and Marketing Cloud is a B2C. But there are a lot of differences. Once you start exploring both these products, there are an n number of differences where in some cases Pardot is much better than Marketing Cloud, but in other cases Marketing Cloud exceeds Pardot in few features, because I've been doing on both the clouds. So I'm aware of a lot of differences which I usually get across to. So I'll just move on to very few differences. One being the very basic one, Pardot is a B2B, and when it comes to Marketing Cloud, it's a B2C. All right. And yes, Marketing Cloud has got multiple studios. They have got email studio, mobile studio, social ad, and even the web studio. Even Pardot has got those studios, but these are not different. They don't call it differently. If I have to talk about social, yes, we do have a social part in Pardot, but it's not as extensive as Marketing Clouds. And when we talk about ad studio in Marketing Cloud, there is no a native connector or anything, I would say, which is where the functionality of Marketing Cloud exceeds. But yes, Pardot has got its other studios as well. There are no specific studios, but yeah, it's just a generic term which we use in Pardot. Okay, and yes, so when we talk about the CRM, Pardot is native to your Salesforce, and it's not not like Marketing Cloud that you can use it as standalone as well. So with new updates coming up, Pardot is I'm pretty sure it's going to not be a tool like you can use it standalone. Right now we can use it, but looking at the future roadmap, it's going to be completely on CRM itself. And yes, there if I talk about the core functionalities of Pardot, it's a B2B. It has got lead scoring. We have got lead grading, how you actually nurture your leads, how you actually score them, how do you segment your leads. So that is where Pardot is. It has got a way better features which I have, which everyone should explore if they have the instances. And it has got a very nice lead nurturing program, which we call it as Engagement Studio in Pardot. So that is very basic one, but yes, it's very the flow. If you start designing, you're going to love that part. So if I take about some use cases, we always talk about a lot of people come up and ask me, like, what could be a use case. There can be n number of use cases. The very basic use case, if I have to talk about, let's talk about a website. anyone who visits your website, there is a contact us form, they fill it out, and that data goes either to any other database where it is being stored. So that is where you can use Pardot. You can always get those forms aligned to Pardot, get that data into Pardot, nurture your prospects. Okay, we in Pardot we call them as prospects, whereas if I have to say in Salesforce we call them as leads, so in Pardot we call them as prospects. So that is where your when we talk about the prospects, you can actually nurture them. So there could be n number of people filling out that particular form, but you might not be interested in reaching out to everyone. There could be a selection. If somebody of this particular level comes in, I need to contact that person and I need to send this particular email to that person. So those combinations can be matched. So that is where this flow can start, and you can actually have a very nice flow being created. And once that is done in your Pardot, you can always sync that particular prospect as a lead or a contact in your Salesforce account, and have your sales team reach out to them further for more clarification and more get them converted into opportunities as close one. So that is where these products come into play. Okay, I'll move on to the next slide. So these are a few very basic differences. And moving on to, now we come to all the features what Pardot actually provides you. So one is, everyone knows, since it's a marketing automation tool, it's going to have those email marketing stuff. That is for sure. And then Pardot has got a very smart lead generation part. So I'll tell you how in multiple ways you can have those leads generated. So that it could be through a form on your website. I can even track your website. I have those cookies. I can put those cookies on your website and track who is visiting your page. If I already have that particular person's detail in my Pardot instance and I'm tracking your website, I can always check who that person is, on which particular page that particular person went. I can have that all those things coming up in Pardot, so I can see, and accordingly I can send out the communications to that particular person. And talking about the lead management, so when that particular person who is filling out a form on a website comes into Pardot, we actually have a lot of stuff. We send them through nurturing campaigns, we send them through buyer's journey. We can have n number of journeys created for that particular person as per the criteria. And talking about the next part, that is the seamless sales alignment. So as soon as we always try to score and grade a particular person on the basis of their interaction with our marketing assets, whether it's our forms or whether it's our emails, and also according to their location designation or the industry which they're working on. So if I say I need a person, I need to reach out to a particular person who has the designation as CEO or a director of a company, and they are into this particular, let's say, into Salesforce industry only. I need to reach out to that particular person. So that is the time where I'm going to use the sales alignment part. As soon as somebody who fills out my form and they come into my Pardot, I check all that through my Salesforce scoring, Pardot scoring, and the grading, and I qualify them. Once they are qualified from my end, I'll have them aligned into my Salesforce CRM, where the sales rep is going to take further actions. And then we move on to the ROI reporting part. So Pardot has got very basic, I would say, the the reports. There are no custom reporting like we have in Salesforce. We don't have any custom reporting in Pardot. But yes, there is another recent, I think it's been a couple of years or more than that, we have the Einstein reports as well, but you need to configure them on the Salesforce end. So it's like Pardot has not got any specific custom reporting or dashboards. You cannot create dashboards and everything in Pardot. All the data syncs back to your Salesforce CRM, where you can play around with all the reports and dashboard. If you have to do the ROI kind of stuff, I would suggest to have all those pointers, the KPIs which you are tracking and everything related to that, and work on the CRM end. All right. So this is a little bit on what we have covered on the last slide. So how do you streamline your leads and your sales alignment? So what Pardot gives you, it has got actually four parts. One is your demand generation. That is how you're going to generate your leads. That could be through your website tracking, your forms. That is going to be specific Pardot forms or the Pardot form handler or the Pardot landing pages. So these are four ways where you are going to generate your leads. Then you come to the lead nurturing part. So Pardot has already got the engagement studio where you can define your custom journeys, how the prospects comes in, what are the criterias, when do I send email A to a particular person, when do I send email B, or on which particular path I'm going to send them along the complete nurturing campaign. And we've got multiple automation rules can be defined. So this particular part I'll cover in the demo part. And then comes the lead qualification. How do you qualify the leads? Since I told about the lead scoring and the grading part, so this is one of the main part. And these kind of the lead scoring and grading are not available on, if I have to say, on a generic level. Some tools might have, but some don't have it. So Pardot has the advantage of having this lead grading part. Lead scoring is quite common in the marketing tools, but grading is not. So this is where Pardot is a win-win situation for you. And then once you do the lead qualification, the prospect syncs to your CRM, and from there itself your sales, the fourth part, that is the assigned to sales, that part starts, and your sales team reaches out to the particular contact or the lead for conversion. Okay, so these are few I have a couple of customer stories, the customer success stories. These are already available on the Salesforce blogs, so you can actually go through these. These are very basic ones. So how companies are actually generating more ROI, having those campaigns properly aligned so that they meet those targets. If you see, they have got 30%, if I talk about Stanley Black & Decker, so they have got like 30% reduction in sales cycle. So that is quite a big number. And also, if I have to say, they have got 34% more qualified leads in the database. Instead of having all those junk leads, they were able to refine it, and they have 34% of qualified leads right now. Because a lot of people can be in your database, but you don't know who is going to be your qualified lead. They could be junk as well. All right, so the next one, the next example is quite amazing. I'm pretty sure everyone knows about this company, Amazon. Amazon actually uses your Pardot. And even I have had a conversation with a guy in Amazon. So they actually use this particular tool. If I talk about Amazon Marketplace, where you have the option to onboard yourself and do all the sales kind of stuff if you want to sell something. So that is where Amazon uses this particular Pardot thing. So they have got n number of sellers on that. So they have got a lot of and even from that particular case, they are actually able to use the 600 has been the email volume increase in their email sends. And also they have been able to, because these tools have actually helped ease of all the sending from email to this particular person. All the system has been automated, and they don't actually need a person to sit and do all this stuff. All the system is completely automated for them, and they have been using it extensively. Okay, so these are if I have to say, these are the 4 editions. So the premium one is the latest announced edition right now. I'm not sure about the pricing. And so the earlier ones were the standard, pro, and ultimate. So these have been actually earlier these were the names, and they have been right now updated with I think the growth being the standard one, and the pro being the plus edition, and ultimate being the advanced edition. Now they have also put in the premium edition. So premium edition is going to mainly focus for the enterprise level of accounts. They have got a lot of features coming in the premium edition. All right, so these are going to be your basics. If you have to do the certification preparation, if you just need to know a little bit on what Pardot exactly is, how it works, my suggestion is go through the Trailhead. There are n number of modules on Trailhead. You will find n number of trail mixes as well. My preference would be check out for those Trailhead, or the trail mixes which have the Lightning app, because Lightning is right now in the market. So I won't suggest to go back a step and come back to the lightning part. So starts all the features are same, so you don't have to worry. You just need to go through this particular there are n number of trail mixes you will find. Search for the keyword pardot and you will find a lot of. And then there is a help document. If you are planning to do certification, the first step is get the pardot specialist certification, because that is the prerequisite for the pardot consultant one. So you need to my suggestion to prepare for that particular specialist or even the consultant one is go through the help document for Salesforce. Start from the beginning and just keep on reading that stuff. Keep just note down your points where what feature does what and everything. That's going to help you, because this is the easiest way to get certified in Salesforce. I'm not talking only about Pardot, but if you have to get certified in any other except the CTA part, if you have to get certified in any other get any other certification, Salesforce help document is one of the best. Though it might be a little boring, just going through scrolling the same screen again and again, and on the left side you see a lot of menu coming up, so that could be a little bit boring and kind of okay, the content is quite a lot. But this is the best way to get certified. And there are a few blogs running. So one is the Spot for Pardot. This is one of the amazing blogs that is specifically based for Pardot. You'll find all the features, everything coming up in Pardot, or even if you have any they have got some use cases, not many use cases, but they have a little bit, you will find a use case how to implement that particular feature. So you can refer to this particular blog as well, the Spot for Pardot. And there is a Salesforce Ben. So Salesforce Ben has got everything. They have the Pardot part piece as well. So that is one of the, I would say, other blog which usually I refer to these two blogs. And there are many blogs which you can find. So n number of blogs are running, but these are the top two blogs which I usually follow for Pardot. There is, I think, Pardot Geeks as well. So there are a lot of blogs you can find. Now I'll just try to switch to the other screen. I'll just move and see if I can get the demo thing running right now. Okay, I'll just move this thing down. Okay. Is the demo screen visible right now? This is the Pardot instance I'm showing to. This is the Lightning app of Pardot.
Yes, Prashant, it is visible.
Okay, great. So we actually went through a lot of stuff on the PPT part. I'm actually not a good, fan of creating PPTs and doing all that stuff. I love to, show directly the product. So that's a different way I work. All right. So as so this is your Pardot instance. As soon as you log into Pardot, so if you can see, so this is your Lightning app. I can just show you, though it does takes a little bit time to load. All right. So this is your basic, the Salesforce CRM, which is there. So you can always see the B2B MA. This is the B2B marketing automation. So this is the Lightning app. All right. So if you see any app which is mentioned as only the Pardot and there is no B2B marketing automation mentioned, so that would be the older one. So you can see a couple of apps, coming up. So this is your, you just need to, once you have the Pardot in your instance, you just need to log in the way you do it in your Salesforce CRM, that is login.salesforce.com, and just need to search for this particular app as Pardot. Okay. So as soon as you enter, this is the dashboard which is there for Pardot. So here you can see the number of, the prospects I had talked about, the prospect created, the number of prospects created. So there are multiple ways, like we can always do it from the website, from the Pardot forms, the Pardot landing pages, the Pardot form handlers. And also you can do the manual import as well. So manual import for Pardot is different from the CRM part. Like we have the data loader over there. So in Pardot, you just need to have a .csv file, just drag and drop, map the fields, and that's it. This is quite easy in Pardot. Data loader has got, you need to have a lot of, sometime when you are doing a account to contact relation, everything, you need to keep a lot of things in mind. But in Pardot, you just need the list of prospects who have got respective email IDs or the CRM IDs. Create a sheet, create it in a CSV format, just upload it and map the fields. That's it. So it doesn't take a lot of time. So this is a dashboard. So in this particular part, you can see how many prospects were created. So this is, if I have to say in Salesforce terms, this is something you have like leads in Salesforce, if I have to say, because Pardot, we usually map the Pardot prospects to the Salesforce leads. This is a very basic, straightforward implementation. If I have to talk about, there are ways you can even map your Pardot prospects to your contacts, even your person accounts you can work upon if there is a scenario coming up. But this is the very generic way of mapping your prospect with the leads over there. So this particular chart shows this this information: how many prospects are created, the conversions. If I have to say, conversion is from being anonymous to me. They were, they shared some information like the email ID, and now they are converted. And then the opportunities created. So how the opportunities get created? Pardot doesn't create opportunities. It just sends the data to your CRM. From CRM, once the salesperson gets that conversion done as a opportunity as closed won or even as closed lost, so that data syncs back to Pardot to that particular prospect, gets aligned, and this is that particular thing of opportunities created. Okay, this is a marketing calendar. So if let's say I have a meeting or something, so this is going to be my specific calendar. I can have those things added over here. And even if I have to say this, active prospects for review. So this is something, the data, these prospects have been live recently. The green symbol, if you see, these were live few days back or something like. All right, if these symbols are red, that means they have never interacted with any of your marketing assets, or they were imported manually into this particular account. Okay, and if I talk about the identified companies, so this particular thing comes up when you are doing a website tracking part. So the companies, but this data is something which I don't rely on, the identified companies part, because usually what data comes up over here is your internet service providers. To be very honest, your internet service providers would show up over here. Sometimes that happens. So that is, I actually don't rely on the website tracking part. So I'll just move on to the next part. Let me see if I have the, okay. So these are the prospects which I was talking about. So prospect is a person who has actually, who was anonymous to you on your website, or you did not had any information of that particular person, but as soon as they filled out a Pardot form on your website, they became a prospect for you. Okay, so this is how it works: being being anonymous to a known person. All these are your prospects. You can see a multiple symbols. I'll just make it as all prospects right now. So okay, so here you can see this green symbol, which means this person was, you can see the inactivity thing coming up, inactive for 2 days and 2 hours. Okay, and this symbol, you see the cloud, that means this person has been synced into my CRM. If I check, this person account will be there. I can click and see directly from here. This red symbol is this person has never interacted with my marketing assets, or even they did not share me the information or something. I have manually uploaded it. So this is, or they might have just synced from my CRM, nothing else. Okay. So these are few pointers which can be checked in Pardot. Okay. All right. So we have a segmentation part as well. One being the segmentation list. So this is where you start playing around with your prospects right now. Whether my prospect, let's say Santosh, should go in engagement studio or the journey A, and whether they should go in journey B. So these lists come into play right now after once you have these prospects into your Pardot account. Now your lists start coming up, and then you start playing around with them. Okay, so I've got multiple lists, let's say customers, internal lists. So these are few customers, internal test lists, and monthly newsletter. These are few by default ones created. I had a session with Munich Group, so I had created one list for them as well. So you have got multiple ways. We have got the numbers, the labels I have to say, you can see on the top. Prospects, how many prospects are there in this particular list? So it says 2. So you can always see how many prospects are there. Public means, if I have to say about public, means whether you have this particular list available publicly on your preference center page. So you might have seen or observed in your emails, at the very bottom of the footer, there is a line mentioned as to unsubscribe or to manage your preferences, please click here. So this is where these public list thing come into play. Okay. And now talking about the CRM visible. So if any of my list is available, if I you can see customers is mentioned as yes, which means this list is available in my CRM. So somebody who wants, they can actually push that particular lead directly into my customers list from there itself. And if this particular list of my customers is being used in any of the journeys or the campaigns, that can actually directly from CRM, you don't even have to log into Pardot, just push that particular lead or contact onto this particular CRM visible list, and other stuff will be taken care by Pardot itself. They will start getting those emails which were supposed to go out. So that can be managed as well. You don't even have to log into Pardot again to check all these things. And I'll just move on to the Pardot emails. Okay, so Pardot has actually got a number of default email templates. You can select, you just need to do a drag and drop. But yes, there are sometimes you need to do a little bit, you have to do a little bit adjustment through the HTML stuff. So that needs to be done. But you don't have to worry about, because in the next release, I'm pretty sure in the next release or later on, this complete thing is going to be revamped, and the feature is going to be super easy to use. Right now, though, it might not look pretty good, but yeah, in the coming releases, it's going to be super awesome. I'll just show you one of the email templates. So I'm not very good with the creating these templates when I have to do a demo kind of stuff, but yeah, I'll just because I always run out of ideas, what to show, what I should not show. I'll just show you a little bit preview of an email over here, how it's actually going to look. You can see, and this image is static one for me. You can see a dynamic content. All right. So let's say you want to send specific content to Prashant. Okay. You can have or a particular field you have. Let's say number of consultants. It's a checkbox. Let's say in your Salesforce. Okay. You want to send, if it's checkbox is checked, then you need to send them some different content. Or if you want to say if that's unchecked, you want to send some different content. So that thing comes, you can play around with dynamic content over here. So that is where you pull in the dynamic content. I think I'll have I need to remember those German names. Let me just bring up. All right. So in the previous part, the editor part, you saw dynamic content coming up. So I had a field where I put this particular Manuel Neuer. So he's a Germany goalkeeper. Okay. So you can see this image got changed for him. It's showing this trophy is here, but yeah, this particular image is changed. You cannot see the dynamic content thing written because I've added an image over here as red. All right. So if I switch to Marcos Royce, let's say this image is going to change again. Okay, the image is not loading. Let me just see if I have some other data. Okay, see, for Tony Cruz, it changed to blue. So this is how you can, share content with your customers or the clients who are there. So you can have specific content even on the basis of different industries. If you have a field and you have got multiple industries, you can have that dynamic content thing. You can play around with dynamic content. You can have specific content, personalized content sent out to a particular person, relevant to their industry or relevant to their selection of products, if you're doing that selling part. And one of the very good features of Pardot is you can actually see Pardot gives you by default this particular this new render. You can see this option. So it actually gives you a chance to actually, I wouldn't say a chance, but it gives you how your email is going to land up in the other person's, the email client which they are using, whether it's Outlook, whether it's your Gmail or any other, or even on their devices, whether it's your iPhone, whether it's your Android, all that stuff. So I think I have this old report created. So I'll just show you, because it usually takes a lot of time to get created. See, you can always see, so that you are aware that, whether your email is going into spam, you can always check from here. Okay, so this particular email, if I have to say about desktop email clients, see, for Outlook and all these, it's rendering properly. All right, when I talk about this when I talk about web email clients, this email is going to fail. All right, and in others you can always see it's rendering properly. Okay, you have the subject line preview, how the subject line is actually going to look like in all these the email clients. And you also have the spam analysis. If if your email is going to end up in spam, it's going to show as failed. So you can rework on your email before sending to any of your clients. It gives you a score as well. You can always go through these comments before sending it to your client. So this is a very basic feature which is given by default. There are n number of tools. I think in Marketing Cloud you need to buy the Litmus as an add-on, but this is also given by Litmus only, so this is already included in this one. All right, so these are few things you should actually keep in mind before you start working on this. I'll just move on to one of the main features. All right, since we have been talking a lot about the journeys, how journeys work and everything, so let's see. So this is the interface of the engagement studio, or the campaigns which we run in Pardot. Whereas in Marketing Cloud, we have, we usually call them as journey builders. So this is a very straightforward one. This is the recipient list which is going to be there. You can always see in this particular list how many people are there, what's the recipient list, or if even if you have a suppression list and everything, you can see over here. You can have multiple actions defined. Right now I have only defined as notify user. So anyone who comes into this list, I get notified. I apply a tag. So tags are basically, we use it for filtering out our prospects from or segregating, I would say, who should be in who should go path A or path B. So this is a very straightforward one. This was just for a testing purpose. And here comes your the scoring part. If somebody comes over here, they get a score of 50, and I add them to customers list. I'll just show you the other one, which is a little bit on the complex side. Let me see if this is the one. Okay, so I think this you all will like. Okay, so this is how a campaign in, or a nurturing campaign in Pardot works. Okay, so this was my list of recipients to whom I wanted to send my communications. This is the email which went out. All right, I'm waiting here and I'm waiting to check whether they have opened my email or not. You can always see those dates against this, when this email, when this program started, when the email was sent out. And if I say, I go to this yes path, you can see email was opened on 14th, right? Because I have a wait of 7 days. So all this data starts coming up, what all actions have happened. So this was on the right side of the path which I started. Let's take you all through the left side of the path right now. So they're asking whether the email was opened or not. So this is where you actually decide whether the customer is interacting with you or not, whether they're interacting with the marketing assets or not. So this is one of the main features, or the selling point of Pardot, if I have to say, one of the selling points of Pardot. See, if somebody is not opening the email, so I just send them another email. So when you automate all this stuff, it makes your life a lot easier. If I have to do all this work manually, how much time it's going to I'm going to spend on this particular thing. Because right now I say I have got 2 people in this particular list, and it could be like I have got if I have to say, in real time that could be thousands or even millions of people in this particular list. So I cannot go and send those emails one by one to that particular, those million of people. So let automation tools work. So this is one of the great features which Pardot gives you. It always gives you, you can always check if somebody has opened your email or not. You can even check whether somebody has clicked on that particular link which is there in your email or not. And you can again send them to some other campaign after this particular campaign. So all these things can be managed itself. You don't have to worry about always logging into Pardot and check whether somebody has crossed that path or not, or all that stuff. So you can have, let one campaign end, move that particular list, or the end if you're adding them to some other list, move them to a new campaign, and you can nurture them again. So this is the nurturing part which we are doing. Once all this nurturing is done, at the end of this I'll get a lot of filter data. If those who never opened my email, I don't need them right now. I might reach out to them like in the future of like 6 months or 8 months or even next year. And those who have been interacting with my emails regularly, I would like to reach out to them on immediate basis. So once I get this data, what I'm going to do, I'm either going to assign it to my Salesforce queue if it's there, or I'm going to assign it to somebody who is there in my Salesforce, a sales rep who is there in Salesforce as well as in Pardot. I'm going to assign it to that particular person. So that becomes a task for my sales rep on the CRM end to follow up with these people who have been interacting with my content and reach out to them to convert them as an opportunity. So this is where you can have these complex scenarios created as well. You can have very basic ones created as well. You can have complex to complex scenarios created as well. So, and I'll just show you a few of the reports since we have talked about the emails. We have, we can create landing pages as well. So that is, you have the drag and drop functionality over there as well. So it's quite similar. Okay, so these are few reports if I have to talk about. So these are your campaign reports. You always have the Pardot campaigns, or even in Salesforce you have campaigns. Okay, but you can have your Pardot campaigns running separate if you don't want to connect them to your the Salesforce campaign. But you can have both these campaigns connected as well. And here comes your reports. So all these reports, like how many visitors are there, what's the count of my the ROI and everything. See, there are no opportunities, or if even if there are some opportunities, there is no cost associated. So this is going to be where you can actually see the ROI for a particular campaign if it's there. Okay, and I think one of the best reports which Pardot has got is this one, the pipeline one. So from being a visitor, this takes you back to the very first step. I don't have any person who is anonymous to me. So visitors on your website are anonymous to you. You don't have any information. As soon as they share information to you, they become prospects. All right, so I have got 9 prospects. These are actually manually created prospects, so that's the reason you don't have the visitor data is it's showing as 0. So all my prospects are right now in this particular stage. They haven't moved further down this particular pipeline. I haven't qualified them for my sales team to go ahead and convert them to an opportunity. So once that assignment thing is done, the data moves to your sales cloud, and as soon as your sales cloud team qualifies them, which means they convert them to your opportunities, so that data populates over here. And then you can actually see what's the total revenue of your complete all the campaigns. It's not specific to one, but total revenue you can actually get. And even here you can see how much time it's taking for from a visitor to moving to a prospect stage, or a prospect to an MQL, or an MQL to SQL. So these are a few different stages. So I'll not go very deep into it, because these are some terms which I would suggest everyone to go thoroughly if you are actually preparing for your certification, because these are quite common terms. So I would suggest to, you know, go through the help document. So these are few of the reports which are there in Pardot, which I usually prefer looking at. You even have you know, reports when you say, since this is a demo org, I won't be able to show you the marketing assets report if I have to specifically say for list emails. So what happens is there might not be any data. Okay. So what basically happens is as soon as you send an email to a particular list, let's say you need to send a one-time email to a particular list. Okay. You don't want to send them through a journey or something. You can do it over here itself. Okay, once that is done, you get a lot of you know, data over here, and once you click on that particular email over here in the stats, you will actually get a pie chart where it shows whether the person opened it on the Android device or it was an iOS or any other device. So that thing also can be, you know, referred over here. So all that stuff comes up. Okay, I think that's a very basic overview of Pardot which I have given, and I have actually covered a lot of topics, and I'm pretty sure this is going to be going over the head for a lot of people who have been attending this for the very first time. I think Sesha, it's over to you. If I'll just see the chat once. I'll just stop sharing my screen and I'll move to the chat if there are
Yes,
any queries.
Prashant,
Yeah.
I can see few questions for you in the chat window. And guys, please post your questions in the chat window. Prashant is ready to answer your questions. Yeah.
Okay, so there is a question by Saharsh Singh. Okay, it will be helpful to understand through a use case as how grading is done. Okay, so Saharsh, this was a very basic, you know, session for Pardot. We are not going very deep into this. So because you know, we have an audience for everyone is there, you know, from beginner to advanced level. So we are not going very deep into it. If you have any queries or if you are, you know, I'll see if I have a use case I can share with you, so you can actually connect with me, and I'll see if I can, you know, share a use case with you regarding this. Do we get, okay, so there is a question by Vivek Singh. Okay, do we get a hands-on org with Pardot for practice, or we are trailhead modules? Okay, so if your company is a Salesforce partner company, you should be getting this particular org. You can actually request a demo org for Pardot. But if I have to say about you know, getting the demo org like which we get in sales org, the Salesforce editions, you know, developer editions and all, you don't actually get it while doing trailheads module or anything. So you actually, if your company is the Salesforce partner company, you can actually reach out to them, to your Salesforce those AEs, or even in the partner community, you should be able to get access to it. Okay, so what are the evaluation criteria for lead scoring and grading? Okay, so so Shreyas has a question about evaluation criteria for lead scoring or grading. Okay, so lead scoring, basically what we do is, in lead scoring we have got few options. We have got whether it's an email open or a link click, or even you know, the form has been filled out or not. So these are few. I'm talking about the actions when, you know, we do a lead scoring. Okay, we can always change the lead scoring according to us. We can have different categories created as well. And if I have to talk about grading, as I told, we have the job title, we have the industry, we have the location. So these are few of the grading parts which are there. Okay. Okay, so I see Jibran joining here as well. Oh, great to see Jibran joining. Their newsletter template as well. Okay, Jibran, to be very honest, there could be n number of you know, templates for newsletter. If I have to say, you know, some companies prefer, you know, some different designs, some has got different design. So those default templates which are there, you can actually go through them. If those suit you, then good, else you'll have to do a little bit you know, a little bit coding kind of stuff. I would say the HTML or the CSS stuff, or if you have a web team, you can ask them to create it for you. Those templates can be created. Okay. Okay, any resources for engagement studio examples? Jibran, I would suggest, I have actually told about couple of blogs. I'm not sure you will get end-to-end examples, but yes, you can always refer to the Spot for Pardot is one of the blogs where you can find such stuff, or even the Salesforce Ben is there. You can find that stuff over there. Okay, so there the product itself says Pardot marketing automation, but is there coding or scripting required for Pardot? Okay, to be very honest, there is it's kind of a configuration, morely on the configuration part. There is very less. Let's say if I have an email template created, okay, and the design, which is the default templates which are there, if the design doesn't suits my requirement, I'll have to do a little bit manage those HTML and other stuff. So that is where the coding part comes in. Or even if if my requirement is to have a landing page or a form which is there, and from there you want somebody who fills out that form, you need to do let's say a booklet download kind of stuff. You have a PDF booklet or something of that stuff, you need to do a download. So that is something a little bit, not more than like few lines, but a little bit on the JavaScript. Those codes are actually available on the internet. You can always search, and you just need to copy and paste those codes, so they work completely. So you can actually there is no scripting. If I have to say, if I have related to Marketing Cloud, there is a lot of scripting, because I have seen a lot of you need that kind of a little bit on the development stuff you need to know. So that is something different. So Pardot is completely, I would say it's 90% admin, or 10% is HTML. I would say like 7 to 8% of HTML. If you have to do a little bit troubleshooting, you should know. Or a little bit on the if you have to create a new template which is not there by default, so that is something you can manage. Okay. If someone has Pardot, Marketing Cloud, and Sales Cloud licenses, how are these integrated? Is there a declarative control, some connectors, or need to do some coding? Okay, so if I have to talk about, if you have got all these licenses, so Pardot, you have a default connector in Pardot, which is which you actually use to connect it to your Salesforce CRM. So that is there by default. And if I talk about Marketing Cloud and Sales Cloud, then again you have a connector, that is Marketing Cloud Connect, which you can use to connect with your Sales Cloud. So these are the native connectors which are there. So you can utilize these connectors. You don't have to do those API integrations or that kind of integration stuff. You don't have to do. You just need to go through these basic connectors. That's completely configuration. You don't have to do any coding. You just need to do a click, click, click. That's it. Okay, so I think in the chat window, all the questions are answered. If there are any, I think people can put in more questions if there are any.
Yeah, Prashant, I think these are the questions, because Pardot is one of these kinds of product which is not available for everyone, right? So they might get a chance to have Pardot from their partner Salesforce, from the AE or from anyone else. Yeah, might be this session has enlightened them about the Pardot and encouraged them to learn Pardot and do this certification. Prashant, I had a question. Even I think Shivu can be the third person to answer, either you or Shivu. So how HubSpot marketing is different from either Pardot or Marketing Cloud? Because I came to know that I don't know much about HubSpot. Recently I'm learning, but I came to know that HubSpot is having the strong, robust in marketing essence.
Okay, so I'll just take what's my review on these two, because this question comes a lot. When we compare Pardot or HubSpot, so these are actually quite different. So if I talk about the pricing or anything, you might get a vanilla product for HubSpot at a very low price. Okay, but when the cost starts increasing, it's almost similar to your Pardot, or even more than that it can go. But depending on the feature, what your requirement is, because HubSpot has got some different features which a marketing team might not require. or even if I have to say, Shibu can correct me. If I talk about Marketing Cloud, even Marketing Cloud has got n number of features, you know. So if you try to compare it with either combine Pardot and Marketing Cloud, and then you compare it with HubSpot, then you know there is we can always say it's going to be a challenging one, but it completely depends on the requirement, to be very honest, because you know if I'm doing marketing, I don't need to you know set up a website or something. That I already have a website. That is where I'm you know going to just do a little bit changes and get the website tracking and stuff. So all the tools have got their own you know limitations and advantages. I cannot say that you know HubSpot is exceeding Pardot in everything, or Pardot is exceeding HubSpot in everything, or even in Marketing Cloud, if I have to say. There are going to be differences.
Yes, yes, exactly. And it depends on features as well as the license cost of
Yeah, correct,
the
correct.
company.
Because
Yes,
if I say I'm not saying anything bad about HubSpot or what or Pardot, but yeah, what I have heard is you know HubSpot cost keeps on increasing, so you might get a vanilla product at a lower pricing as compared to what Pardot is offering, because that's like $12-50 a month or that kind of stuff. But when it comes to your you know when you start enabling all those features, you say okay, I need this particular feature, another cost comes in. You move to next feature, okay, we'll add this much cost again. You know there are n number of reasons it could be like. So you can go and compare these tools, to be very honest.
yes. Yes, but this is the beaten up question, right? Is everywhere the question is
Yeah,
asked and there is no exact answer as well.
yeah, because see, even if I have to say, HubSpot is a competitor for Pardot. It's not like it's not a competitor. HubSpot is also you know a good marketing tool. I'm not saying it has not got features. It's very expensive, but yes, HubSpot has got its own features. Pardot has got its own features. So that is because I to be very honest, I haven't used HubSpot. I only got one time, I think, one chance to just look at the org of HubSpot, and I was like, okay, so that time I just explored for like I think I had only one day to explore those features. So I was like, I just kept on reading the document. Okay, I think we can do all this with Pardot. When it's required, I'll see my use case and do it.
Yes, yes. Yeah. The user interface is really good for the HubSpot.
Uh,
Simple. Yeah.
See, talking about user interface, even for Pardot, it's not very complicated. See, now it's on Lightning. If I show you the, you know, the older user interface, you will be like, okay, the companies right now, you know, even if I have to say about Marketing Cloud's user interface with the Pardot older user interface, you will, I'm pretty sure Marketing Cloud user interface is, you know, way better than the Pardot's older one. But now since Pardot is on the Lightning part, so it has completely got the lightning tabs and everything, and it's way better than what it was you know before. So all these things are coming up. If right now you know Pardot has got very limited email templates by default and all that stuff, where could be some you know you don't have few options which are there. But when you look at the roadmap which is there, you know recently if you check out Twitter or anything, which is you know there were a lot of if I talk about the premium edition of Pardot, or even in the next release, if you talk about Pardot's email builder is going to be way better than I think which is right now for Marketing Cloud. Because Marketing Cloud's email builder I have used, so it's quite you know it has got a lot of features which you know a lot of people expect to be there, but Pardot's Pardot is still you know evolving. So the next release, which is those email builders which is coming up, that is going to be way better. I'm pretty sure it has got almost all the features which everyone required right now. So this is going to be a major change in Pardot industry. It might be like you know people start moving to Pardot more than what they were you know moving to some other tools or anything. So they might you know start moving to Pardot because those features which are coming up, even I'm excited to you know get that particular new Pardot email builder which is there. I have
Yes.
seen some screenshots and everything. I think it was announced last Dreamforce, if I'm not wrong. So now, as soon as that comes up, I'm pretty sure it's going to be the talking point in the market for this, you know, marketing automation tools. It's quite, you know, extensive, and you've got a lot of options. very easy to use. Right now also it's very easy, but as I said, sometimes you need to do a little bit on the HTML stuff. You need to do a little. See, that kind of stuff will be always required. You need to do a little bit of troubleshooting. It's going to be there in all the tools. It's not like it's there in Pardot. It's not in Marketing Cloud. Even I have done, a little bit troubleshooting on the HTML7 Marketing Cloud, because when you don't find the option straight away, you just go to the code and just make some changes and come back. That's the
Yes.
easiest way to do it.
Yes. We have an expert answer from Shibu as well in the chat window. If you would like to have a look into it.
Correct. This is one of the major points, because Pardot and Marketing Cloud have got the native connector which is there for CRM. So that is one of the major points which is there, because you don't get a direct connector for other marketing tools with Salesforce CRM. You always need to do an integration or get a third party tool like Zapier and do it. So that gets you an extra cost which is there. So that is something, because those who have been using Salesforce, they are like, we want all the products of Salesforce. It's like, if you tell them, okay, Salesforce has got a marketing automation tool as well, they will be like, okay, let's explore those tools, because they know that Salesforce is the number one CRM right now. So they are going to actually rely on that particular thing, because Salesforce is, I think, I'm pretty sure there's only the one CRM which I would refer.
Yeah, exactly. I think there is no competitor as well.
Correct. So Salesforce has built up that particular, brand name and everything, that people actually trust so much Salesforce, and even Salesforce is very supportive on all these stuff. So everyone wants, okay, if I take a very generic example, okay, let's say I like Nike as a brand, so I'll buy Nike shoes, I'll buy Nike t-shirts, I'll buy Nike shorts, and everything will be Nike, Nike, Nike. All right. So if I am a particular customer for Nike, so that's similarly for those who are buying CRM as a Salesforce. So they are going to go with, okay, I'll buy Marketing Cloud, I'll buy Pardot, I'll buy Community Cloud, I'll buy everything. So that's how it goes.
Yes, there is a funny answer from Shivu as well. Salesforce is adopting Apple strategy. Once an Apple product user, you end up buying only Apple product.
Correct, correct,
Similarly goes with Salesforce as well.
correct.
Yes. Yeah, this is a really great enlightenment, Prashant. Maybe people might be having this question, but you and Shivu combined together and gave us a great answer. Okay, guys, thank you for having us, and thank you for having this Padboard session from Prashant, and thank you, Prashant, for this valuable session and your valuable insights regarding the certification and preparation of certification. And people will reach out to you definitely via your Twitter and LinkedIn. I think you will be surprised to see your Twitter handle, because there are lots of tweets were there regarding this session. So
Okay.
you have to make some time to answer those tweets.
Yeah, I'll do that after this. I think I'll do that. Thank you for
Yeah, take your time.
having me. It was quite an amazing experience.
Okay, thanks, Prashant. Thanks a lot for having us and accepting this session. And same goes with Shibu. Thanks a lot.
Thank you.
Okay, guys. Thank you very much for having us.